not a whole lot of people yet, but hopefully folks will come on over. It's been a while and I've been meaning to make more videos on this channel, but I haven't had a chance to, and I thought, you know what, let's just go live. I'm making stuff pretty much every day over here and I might as well film it and show you what I'm making. So, hi, if it's been a while. My name is Lauren Fairweather. You can call me Ren if you'd like to, and today I'm gonna make some of these forest sprites that I've been working on. I'm working on lots of different little plants. These are the leaf ones, and I'm gonna hopefully have some other designs soon, but today I'm making some ones that look like little sticks. That's kind of the general shape we're going for at the moment. But if you're here and you want to say hi, feel free to leave some comments in the chat. And part of the reason why I'm here also is that I just kind of want to see how everybody's doing since it's been a while. So if you want to let me know how you're doing, I would love to catch up with you. And yeah, I have been getting back into making plush dolls, which is something I used to do for ages. It was like my main full-time job for a long while, and then I got kind of burnt out and started doing other things. And so I am pretty excited to be getting back into it with lots of new skills. One thing that I like to do when I am excited to make stuff but I'm not really in the mood to actually sit down and do it is I do a lot of research. And so I ended up, you know, spending a long time on places like Skillshare and on YouTube as well. Instagram, just kind of collecting inspiration, learning new things from other creators who are generous enough to share their ideas and skills and tips. I've done that for a really long time too, and it's really fun to just, I don't know, be part of a community that helps each other learn. As much as we are, you know, wanting our own stuff to do well, I think we all benefit when we lift each other up, and it's pretty great, in my opinion. It's part of the community that I've been super excited to be a part of, just kind of jumping in and sharing what I know and learning things from other creators. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask also, because that's what I'm here for. And hopefully I'll see your chats. I've got it up on my computer and on my phone, so if I am not looking, hopefully when I look up I can read what you're saying over there. It's been so long. I, for a while, was posting on a separate channel, just journal things. The channel's called Journal Sunshine, and I found that a lot of the people who really liked my journaling content on this channel were really excited to have a whole channel just dedicated to journaling supplies. And I still do a lot of journaling, but I haven't posted on there in a while either. YouTube is just very time consuming, and while I love to do it, I wasn't quite making enough money to swing spending that much time on it anymore. And so I started doing other creative things. But I do miss the community, and I miss getting to hear from all of you. And so it's exciting to be here. And I don't know, if we like to do this, if this is something that you all enjoy watching, and if I'm able to swing it, maybe we can do this regularly if it's something that you enjoy. Since filming and editing videos, I tend to be kind of a perfectionist and I want everything to look really good, so I spend a while getting it to look nice. And with this, we just kind of hit go and see what happens, which is a little bit stressful for me sometimes, but you know. So this step that I'm working on right now is cutting out the pieces that I've already sewn. I put the patterns on doubled inside out fabric, and then I cut around it, and I am clipping little spots around the curves so that when I turn it inside out, the fabric doesn't get all bunched up in weird places. We want the shape to look as natural as possible, and sometimes when you turn it inside out, especially these teeny tiny little pieces like the little arms and the little sticks on top of their heads, can look a little funky if I don't go through and clip all those spaces. We don't want to get too close to the stitches though, because then it would make a hole. And so Sometimes folks will ask me why I don't use like pinking shears that cut in a zigzag pattern, and really it's just that I want to have more control than that will let me. Also because this fabric is pretty intense and I need like some really sharp scissors. And most of the pinking shears that I've found that aren't super expensive are meant for paper, not for fabric, sadly. So this works for me. This has been working for me for about 14 years now that I've been making plush toys and art dolls. So it's kind of fun. I've been shifting when I look up new ways to do this and new skills to learn. I've been shifting to search for art doll tutorials instead of plush doll tutorials or plush toy tutorials or softies. And I've been getting some really interesting resources from just making that shift. A lot of art dolls that I found have clay faces, which I don't do, but I might someday if I feel like it, if I want to try it out. I know that sculpting takes quite a lot of practice, so I might as well give it a try, see how it works out. Hi! Somebody said hi and then retracted their message. That's okay. I was excited to see that the comments work. How are all of you doing? It's been a little while, at least on this channel. I do post on Instagram more often just because it's less time intensive. So if you are on Instagram and you want to follow me over there, you will get a lot more content from me recently anyway. You can follow me over there. My username for my main stuff is Lauren Fair WX. And then if you are really interested in these plush dolls that I made my own Instagram page for those. And that is Fairwix Forest, spelled Fairwx Forest, on Instagram as well. And I am going to do animals too. I have been making some animals, but they're a little more complicated. And lately I've been in the mood to make these really simple, cute little plant sprites. They usually, I don't know, they make me happy. They all have different little facial expressions and it's a lot of fun. Hi Pan, so we got a question. How did you get into making plushies? So for pretty much my entire life, I've been really into buying plushies. And then the older I got, the more I felt like I was spending too much money on them. And I kind of have always been a crafty person, so I wanted to learn how to make my own. And so I pretty much just watched a ton of YouTube videos of people making different plushies in all different kinds of styles. And I still do that because there are always new and interesting things to learn, and I'm always trying to improve my craft. But I eventually felt like, okay, we're ready to try. And back in 2010, I started an Etsy shop called Fairweather Friends. I've recently changed it to Fairwix Forest, just to kind of have something that felt like mine. My last name is Fairweather, so I thought it was kind of a fun play on a normally pretty negative phrase. That was the thing that bullies liked to say to me in school, and I was like, taking it back. Yeah, recently I wanted to not just change it to something that was mine and not really used by any other companies, but also something that felt like it evoked a world. When I first started out, I was kind of making a little bit of everything, and over time I've learned that I really like making little magical creatures and woodland animals, and so I thought that by creating like surroundings and a world for the characters, that it would kind of help people get in the mindset that I want to give them, which is this just like magical, creative, cute place where people can live out their childhood nostalgia, to feed their child at heart, all of that stuff. I love the way all of the, ooh, my screensaver went on. Just gonna shake my mouse there so I can see what you're saying. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think I could also expand what Fairwix Forest is at some point. I would love to, I don't know, write zines, little comics or something like that. I don't know if I'd do a full-on graphic novel, but I do love designing characters for these little plushies, and I think that they could have their own little stories someday. I don't know. It felt like a good way to expand the world that I'm creating and rebrand a little bit. I also love a good rebrand. I'm super into branding. I don't know if you've seen any of the branding videos here on my channel, but it's something that I get really excited about. I'm a graphic designer, and I also love seeing how different companies use branding to give their people the kind of feeling that they want them to have. I want people to, I don't know, feel like magic comes to life and feel like they have a creative place that they can go to cheer up. So I'm making a happy little magical forest and all the creatures that live in it. Ooh, very cool. Thank you for the tip, Melissa. So Melissa said in the comments, for art dolls, Sculpey makes a lot of face molds, which could be a good way to start clay faces. I didn't know they made molds. I knew that I could make my own molds if I got like one face looking really good. I could mold it and then make multiples with that. But buying face molds for plushies is I didn't even know that existed, and I'm really excited to like deep dive into that later. I love falling into a good like creative YouTube rabbit hole. And probably 9 times out of 10, whatever I end up looking at is something I never end up actually making, but I don't know, I like collecting information like that in my brain for later. When I want to try something new or learn something exciting and creative, I definitely like being able to pull from different things I've seen over the years and never actually used. It's kind of how I ended up designing my most recent round of plush doll designs, because they, I don't know, I wanted to come up with something a little bit more complicated, and these ones aren't. These are pretty similar to what I did when I started, but I've been making ones with knees. The second I figured out how to make a plush knee, I kind of screamed for 25 minutes and ran around and showed them to everybody I knew, because it was a little bit, I don't know, it was just really exciting for me. They like swing. When I put them on a shelf, they kind of kick, and it's so cute. So that was exciting for me. These ones don't have knees, but they do have legs. A lot of my plushies for a really long time didn't have legs or arms. They were just kind of a blob with a tail and a head, which I may still do because I worked really hard to develop that sort of style and spent a long time on them, so they got better and better. Hi, Adam. I miss you too. It's good to see some familiar faces in the chat. This is so exciting. That was kind of what I was hoping for. I was hoping to kind of pull in some people who I haven't seen in a while or who haven't seen me in a while. And yeah, so I'm happy that you're here. Oh, RKB still has one of my squirrel plushies. Yay, I actually might still have one of 2 of those floating around somewhere. I have a couple that of my very like original plushies that I never sold. And that was one of them. I think I might have put it online maybe a year ago when I reopened my Etsy shop for a minute. I'm also keeping my Etsy shop on vacation mode pretty much all of the time unless I have stuff to sell, and instead of keeping it open for the foreseeable future, I'll let everybody know that it's coming, and then I will schedule a drop and everybody can put it on their calendar and get there at the same time. And then I'll list everything, maybe leave it up for a weekend, couple days, and then I'll take down anything that doesn't sell. And obviously if they sell out, it'll close, or the window will close early as well. Just to kind of help me save time when it comes to driving to the post office. It was getting to the point where I would pack everything up and go to the post office, and then I'd come back home and someone else would place an order, and then I'd have to do it again. So this way I can kind of condense all the orders at one time and then go do one big trip and then work on making more stuff for next one. So I followed a lot of artists who have followed that model, and it seems like it works really well for them. So I've been giving that a try. It's been a while since my last drop though, so there's a lot of new stuff. I haven't actually sold these outside of markets and conventions, so they haven't been available online yet. So I hope that if you've been seeing them on my Instagram page or here on YouTube in some of the shorts I've been posting, that's where they're gonna be. They're gonna be on fairwicksforest.etsy.com, and I'm gonna announce that on Instagram when I have the date. So mostly finishing up a bunch of these, and then I'm gonna take photos and make listings, and then they will be ready to go. Not sure when that'll be, but soon, hopefully. All right, the dudes I'm making now, so you can see what they look like. Okay, so let's see. These ones, I actually have one that I am keeping for myself, and I don't know where he is. But they're a little bit like these, just dark brown, same body shape, and then instead of the little leaves, they're gonna have little sticks on top of their heads. A little bit like a Korok. One of the reasons why I wanted to start making these forest sprites is that I find that a lot of the stories and fantasy worlds that I like have some sort of plant creature. So we've got Koroks, we've got Groot, we've got Ents from Lord of the Rings, we've got Bowtruckles and Mandrakes, and so I wanted to make my own version of like a little plant creature, and they evoke sort of all of those magical plant creatures in fantasy series. And so these ones are a little bit more Korok-like, and the face is going to be green, almost like they're holding up a leaf in front of their face, like the little Korok masks in Legend of Zelda. When my kid was little, we would look for Koroks together in Breath of the Wild and try to avoid the scary stuff. And we would always do the little dance with the maracas when we gave Korok seeds to Hestu. And just like happy memories for me. Let's see. Lovely to see you again, the Phantom Butterfly. I'm glad that you're here. Like I said earlier in the feed, I would like to do this again. Maybe do this regularly if everybody's around. I don't know if I'm gonna choose a specific time every week, or I'm just gonna do it randomly, give you a little bit of a heads up. Let me know what works for you, I guess. But I would love to have it be a semi-regular thing where people who have different schedules can tune in. Because if it's always at the same time and that time doesn't work for you, it'll always be the same people, and other people might not be able to get in and say hi. Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, hi, Lisa. Oh, I miss going to Pittsburgh. That's another thing I haven't done in a long time, touring. I used to drive all over the place, hang out with nerd friends. I miss it. I miss it so much. Oh, hi, Abby. This is great. I was kind of lonely, and I thought, you know what? This is a good day to go live because I miss my people. So very happy that some of you were able to tune in on short notice. Maybe I'll warn you more in the future. Maybe I'll just keep making it random and spontaneous. Could be kind of fun. I don't know. I don't really like to commit to anything too rigid because you never know what will happen. I have other stuff going on. So yeah, this is something that I've been meaning to come back to for a really long time though. I just have so many wonderful memories from this channel and everybody that I've met because of it. And never been the type of person to quit doing things. I just kind of think, you know, I'm gonna work on something else for a little while and I'll come back to this when I'm ready. Let's see. Am I giving them a special name? So I think I'm sticking with Forest Sprites for Fairweather Forest, which is the overall kind of brand name that I've shifted to lately. So we've got leaf sprites or plant sprites. I'm not entirely sure. I think these are the leaf sprites because they have little leaves on their head. And then these ones with the sticks are going to be tree sprites. And I mean, not to spoil you or give away all my ideas, but I'm hoping to do rock sprites and mushroom sprites and flower sprites and things like that too. So we will see how they turn out. Sometimes I have a design and I work on it and I don't love how it turns out, so I might not have it as a finished project for a while, but we're gonna try lots of different things and see what works out well. And I don't know, they're really tiny and small and not too hard to make because I've been making some more complicated ones recently, which I can actually show you if you haven't seen them yet on my Instagram. I also linked both of my Instagram accounts in the description below. So if you are on Instagram and you aren't following me there already, I post on there way more often than I post on here. So if you want to keep in touch, that's a really good way to see me more often. But this was the first of the ones with the knees that I started making. I I screamed when I made these knees. Just sewing across the leg made it 100 times better. But I've started making little outfits for them. Here's a little cat. They have stuff in their pockets. Let's see, I have a couple more. So these three were actually in an art gallery. I submitted actually one of them to an art gallery and they asked for more, so I sent them a couple. But I've got this little potion maker fox with the little magical potion bottles in the pockets. They also have tattoos on their arms. This one has stars and leaves. They're all a little bit different. So I designed a pattern and then I went through and I'm making different versions of them, different colors, all that stuff. And these are pretty expensive because they do take me like 9-ish hours to make. So I haven't been selling as many of them, which is understandable. I also don't have money for things like this right now. These are not in my budget, but if they are in your budget, I guess let me know. These will probably be in my Etsy drop, but I'm thinking about doing like a, I don't know, surprise Instagram drops where I just post them in my stories and see who wants them. Because they don't sell as quickly typically. So yeah, if you want to save up for something like that. There's also owls because those have always been my like best sellers. I did a snowy owl with orange feet and it sold almost right away, and I ran out of orange fabric, so I need to get some more. So I think I'm gonna do orange feet on some more of them once I get that fabric. But we got a little barn owl. Also the arms are articulated, so you can, in this case wings, but on the fox arms, obviously. But yeah, the arms move, a little tail in the back. But yeah, this is like a gardener. Little barn owl. And then this is the one that I designed for that art exhibit. So I made a painter cat and it's fully posable, which was the first time I'd done that. There's a wire armature in there, so I actually posed this one sitting down, or kneeling, I guess. And then I worked on a little painting and I thought, if a cat were painting something, what would it be? So I made this little starry magical cat food can, and then I made a little guy who's painting it, and I made the paintbrush. I have a toothpick and some hair from a brush that I sacrificed, and yeah, put a little paint on the tip of it. This is really fun because I could just kind of go wild. I figured if it's going to be displayed in an art gallery, it doesn't have to be something that the average person could afford. It could just be whatever I want it to be, and so I wasn't thinking about trying to make it as quickly as possible. Instead, I just kind of kept adding things to it until I thought it was done. So she's painting. I don't have any idea what I would charge for this. Maybe I'll do an auction or something like that, or keep it. That's been the other fun thing when things don't sell. I like them so much lately that I just want to keep them. So that's been a thing that I might do. Might just not sell it or try to sell it, and if it doesn't sell, it might just be mine. Oh, it's not squirrels that I still have. Oh, is it? It's not squirrels that I still have, it's chipmunks. I have some chipmunks from one of my earliest rounds. So this is like an oldie. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. Ooh, also, at Halloween I did a market locally in Providence, Rhode Island, and I made ghost plant sprites. Ghost plants are actually a thing, which I found out, but it's like they're ghosts, but they're plant leaf sprites. So those are cute. Somebody thought that they look like radish spirits from Studio Ghibli, which is another fantasy sort of world that I am very inspired by. And yeah, so a little bit like a root or a radish or something like that. But yeah, and they just have little ghost eyes instead of full faces, which I thought was really fun. I whipped those up in like a day right before the Halloween market that I did, because I thought I wanted to have something special for that. Let's see what's going on in the chat over here. Oh yeah, very satisfying scissor snipping sound. We'll get back to that so you can enjoy some background ASMR here. Let's see. Hi, Dinah! Oh, so many people I haven't talked to in way too long. It's so good to hear from all of you. Okay, cool. So Pam is asking how much my plushies range in price, and these are all US dollars, not including shipping. So these little guys, it varies. I think I can charge less for them at markets because I'm not sharing fees with Etsy, but I think on Etsy they're gonna be in the $34 range for the little ones. Boop, boop. And they all have different like little faces. So you're gonna have choices of like a little anxious, sad one and a grumpy one. And oh, this one's grumpy. Different colors, yeah, I'm varying them considerably because I can, and that's fun. And for a long time I made the same ones over and over again. And so this gives me a little bit more creative freedom. I can just kind of add whatever kinds of faces I want. I also made a bunch that don't have faces yet, so that if like only the grumpy ones sell out from my drop, I can swoop in and make a couple extras and add them into the mix. As with all of my plush drops, the stock is going to be really limited. So if you see anything you really love, grab it when you can, because I don't know if I'm going to make them again or what's going to be popular and what will stick around. So good to know for sure if you're interested in buying them anyway. If you just like watching me make them, that's okay too. I'm the type of person that likes to watch people make stuff online, and I never actually make the projects from tutorials. I mostly am just collecting skills, and it's relaxing and kind of nice and inspiring to see people make stuff that I think is cool. Let's see. Aw, so good to see you all. Oh, it's so nice to hear from you all. Are any of you making cool stuff lately that you want to tell me about? What sort of things have you been into lately? I've started knitting and crocheting again recently. It was something that I did when I was a kid and got back into it and knit my first sweater 20 years in. So that was pretty exciting for me. I've also been drawing more the last couple of years. I wanted to get better at drawing, and I knew that I needed to do lots of practice for that to happen. So I finally have been kind of committing to making more drawings. Paint still intimidates me a lot, and I'm occasionally painting just to like see what comes out, but I have this book that's just like very chill, repetitive plants, flowers, food, items, whatever jumps into my head. Lots of mushrooms. Sometimes I'll go through like a drawing book and draw things from a drawing book just to study other people's styles a little bit, figuring out what I like. So I've been doing a lot of drawing too. It's been pretty cool. Ooh, Lisa went to an oddity expo. I went to one recently too. They're really cool and weird. Yeah, it's getting to be that time of year too. I mean, we went to one in the summer. I feel like any time is a good time to make creepy Halloween stuff, witchy things, but it's getting to the point where we'll start seeing it everywhere soon, which is very exciting for me and my kid. My kid also loves Halloween. He's pumped. And we've got folks doing some sewing and making quilts. So exciting. Ooh, collaging, yes. I've been doing more art journaling, and all of my collaging stuff tends to be either memory keeping or junk journaling centric, but I've been wanting to think about if I were to start doing more collaging where I make my own interesting pictures out of magazines and things like that. I've seen some really cool ones lately that are making me want to try that again. So many cool ideas. Even if I just like cut out a bunch of things to have in a little box whenever I'm journaling. I still do journal a lot. That's been a thing that I haven't really stopped doing. I have a lot of journals. I was actually thinking about doing a live where I get all of my journals and go through them all and talk about what I do in each one. maybe give you some ideas. I used to be the type of person who would start new notebooks and journals all the time because I was never satisfied with the ones I had started. And my solution for that was to just start a lot of journals at once and then just rotate through them as I was interested in a different type. So one's just angry venting with pretty fountain pens, and one is like creative stuff that I like. If I want to work on a creative project, I'll brainstorm in a journal. And some of them are just memory keeping to remind me of all the fun stuff that I have been doing with my kid, adventures I'm going on. Because at some point I'm going to want to look back at that sort of thing. I'm really into the Hobonichi 5-year journal. It's starting to get to be Hobonichi season again. They're coming out this week, I think. For everybody who's getting a new Hobonichi, good luck. I hope you get the one that you want. If that doesn't mean anything to you, I understand. I jumped headfirst into the world of planners and journals and all of that maybe like 6 years ago now, and it is a lot of fun for me. But it's, you know, I get that not everybody knows all the brands and all of that stuff. Oh, hi, Matthew. Ooh, cross-stitching. That's a good one. I started cross-stitching at one point and just didn't ever finish a piece. I would do like 2 rows and then something else would come up, or I'd be too busy, or I'd get tired and bored. But I recently did some color work on a sweater that I was knitting, and it felt a little bit like cross-stitching because I had to read a chart in the same way, and that made me think I should go back to cross-stitching. I do love just kind of straight embroidery though. Feels a little bit more like drawing to me. And maybe there's something more satisfying about that for my particular brain. But cross-stitching comes out looking so cool, and there's so many interesting patterns out there that you can go and grab, and I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it at some point. Yeah, Matthew's been working on the same the same cross-stitch piece for 5 months. That seems about right. That seems like it's a long-term commitment to do one of those. Yeah, that's my other problem is I do so, not that it's a problem necessarily, but I do so many different types of crafts and art mediums that I just kind of, it's very easy for me to bail on one so that I can work on something I'm more excited about. And so I have a lot of unfinished things, but I can always go back and finish them. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. So we're all just doing our best, you know? Ooh, Abby has been doing lots of creativity in streaming, which I've been sucked into that. I've been watching some streaming, and I thought, you know, I'm probably not going to do video games on streaming because that's like my me time. It's like my me quiet time when I'm playing video games, but crafting on streaming I could do. Drawing on streaming might be pretty fun too, I was thinking. I really like urban sketching. If I could find like a place with reliable Wi-Fi, I could go sit somewhere and draw and stream that. Risking that, you know, random people will come up to me and talk to me and be weirded out, but that's fine. Who wants to be on the internet with a random stranger who's drawing on the street? I don't know. I'm so glad that you folks are here. Oh, it's so fun reading all your comments. Ooh, I would love to come hang out on your stream, Abby. I love that idea. Maybe I could get friends to come out and hang out on here with me. My kid might join us at some point. He's still learning what is appropriate for the internet and what is not. And when I asked him if he wanted the rundown on that earlier, he went into his room to play Roblox. So that's what he's doing right now. I also warned him about the copyright music thing. I was like, if you're playing music, bud, can't do it. You gotta wear headphones, or you gotta do it very quietly far away from where I'm streaming. So he opted for that today. Maybe he'll make an appearance later or on another future stream. He likes making stuff too, so maybe we'll make some things together. How many do we have? We've done 5. These take a little while. So I thought it would be fun to do some multitasking. Come chat, hang out with all of you. This could be something I could do late at night too. If anybody's like up late working on stuff or hanging out type of person and want a buddy, could do a late night one. I tend to get kind of tired though, so we'll see. Usually for me, late night live streaming results in those hours where everything is funny, and that could be dangerous for the internet, especially on live. Oh, Jamie came to the Rafflecop tour. Ah, so much fun. That was a fun tour. I miss traveling with my friends and making music and eating at restaurants that people who live in places recommend. Got to travel so much over the years and it was really good. It was a good time. One of the Instagram accounts I follow is called Girl Swirl, and they are a skating. Sorry, dogs are barking and I keep getting distracted. My brain just went, oh, cute dogs. But they do like skating lessons for non-cis men, and they were posting that they needed somebody to travel with them and film and make YouTube videos about all their tour dates. And I thought, man, if I didn't have to pay rent and take care of a kid, I would love to do that. How much fun would that be? I could skate. I have been learning how to skateboard the last couple years. I'm very cautious, I'll say. It's not that I'm not good at it, it's just that I don't want to fall. So I'm very, very careful when I'm skating. So could be a good way to get me out of my shell. But it made me kind of, I was reading their posts and it made me kind of miss the days when I could just leave home for a month or 2 straight and just travel with friends. It was a good time. I'm really glad that I did that when I had the opportunity to. Hi, Autumn. It's good to see you. It's also starting to get dark. This window is on like the side of my house, which is close to the side of another house. And so I might turn on a light at some point. Let me know if you're having trouble seeing me. I'm one of those people that does fine in the dark until someone turns on a light and I go, oh wow, I didn't notice. For anybody who's joined me since I started working on these today, I am making some little plant Sprite plush dolls. These ones are going to be brown and have sticks on their heads, and these ones have leaves and they're green. And right now I'm just, I'm cutting them out, and I am going to turn them inside out so then you can see how fuzzy they're going to be. Going to be very cute. Oh, it's so good to see you all. I'm so happy to be here. Do we have anybody who's into video games? I've been kind of playing video games more often lately. My kid's really into them, so it made sense for me to get sucked back in. Even though I'm not really a gamer YouTuber, I am a gamer in general, so. I like talking about video games, not so much playing them in front of people, but they're a fun way to relax. A little bit of escapism for me. My favorite game at the moment is Palia, which basically is the video game that I have been wishing would exist for my entire life, and now it does. It's just like a really cozy, massively multiplayer online role-playing game, MMORPG for the uninitiated, and it's free, which is also nice. And just like make a character that looks like you or that doesn't, and then run around in a little magical world and do tasks and build things and all of that. But I've been enjoying it. I play it with my kids sometimes. We put together a little party and run around and mine and farm and all that together. It's really fun. And it's also very pretty and very cute. You can have pets. I love when I can have a pet in a game. Abby, I haven't heard of either of those games before, but I might check them out if you like them, because I feel like you and I like the same things. Palia feels to me like a combination between Animal Crossing and the open world not Breath of Zelda, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, all of those, which is pretty fun. Ooh, that's so Fields of Mystria is like Palia or Stardew, but with Pokemon style graphics. I should try that because I like both Stardew and Palia. And Palia reminds me a lot of Stardew, but the graphics are so different that it's like, they're more my style, and I've been playing it a lot. But my kid started Stardew recently, so I've been helping him out with that. And I remembered how much I love it. Fun to just like sit here and talk to you all and make things. I'm glad I finally tried, set it up and just did it. I'm one of those people that come up with ideas for a really long time until they're so big in my head that they just become intimidating, and so I just, yeah. I woke up today and I thought I need some company, so let's sit together. And work on some things. Ooh, okay, cool. Other people have been playing Palia. That's exciting. Abby, you should definitely try it. It's free, so, and you can play it on Switch or PC. So you can try it out and see if you like it, and if you don't, the only thing they charge for is like premium outfits and stuff, so you can play free as long as you want, and they add lots of new stuff all the time, so I love a good like game update. I used to get really stuck when I was playing a video game for a long time, and then I'd be like, what do I do now? Everything is either too hard or too boring. And then, so to have games where the developers are regularly updating and adding things is very exciting, especially for a free game. I'm glad enough people are buying the premium content that they can do that. Oh man, Abby, Rory's been asking about Fortnite, so maybe you can play it with him sometime and show him what it is and tell me whether or not it's appropriate for him yet. Oh, that's good to know. Okay. See, I love games and I love online communities, but I want to make sure that my kiddo is set up for success. So I'm being cautious with it. That's another thing I like about Palia, the positive game environment. Everybody in the chat seems to be really friendly and helpful. I taught somebody how to run once. They were like, I don't know how to do it. Which button do I push? And I just went into the chat and taught them how, and it was really nice. Boop, boop, boop. I'm also very happy that we can just kind of switch topics. We can talk about kind of whatever you want. This doesn't have to be anything in particular, mostly just a place to hang out. And if it makes you want to create along with me, that's exciting. You can always send me pictures of what you're working on, any crafts or art that you're making while you hang out here. And if you're not making anything, that's cool too. We can just hang out. Because I've been home a lot this summer and I miss my people. So yeah, feel free to ask questions too if you'd like to, because I do want to make this interesting for all of you. I know sometimes just having a place to chill for a little while is nice, but if you'd like to learn anything or anything like that, just let me know. Autumn, you're putting together a zine. Oh my gosh, so I told myself at like New Year's this was going to be the year of the zine for me. I have so many ideas for zines, and like I was saying before, I get ideas really built up in my head, and then it becomes very intimidating for me to actually do them. So I've been brainstorming a lot and reading a lot of books about zines and reading a lot of zines. There's a zine fair coming up this weekend that I might go to, and so I've been not making zines, even though I thought I would. So hopefully I'll change that. I might just start by making some low impact, like just silly ones, and I can always redo them in the future if I don't love how they turn out. I just feel like there are so many possibilities and so many ways to do that, and it's a little overwhelming for me. I just need to sit down and do it. I was following an artist who does like zine workshops, and we'll just sit down with people for an hour and everybody makes their own zine over the course of the hour. And knowing that you only have an hour to do it makes you kind of, I don't know, just stop worrying about what you're doing and just do it. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a couple of like 1 hour zines just as a starting point, so I can kind of get an idea of what I like to do, try some ideas out. Wake up, computer. Yeah, I don't know, something about, I've never really wanted to publish a book, but something about making a book-like thing is exciting to me. Maybe if I make enough zines, I'd want to make a book someday out of them. I have been reading a lot of graphic novels and art books lately though. I'm just trying to find as many as I can that are a style that I like at my library and surrounding libraries in the area. And it's been one of my favorite things lately. I'm just very excited that I finally started just grabbing huge stacks of books, bringing them home with me. My cat is coming over to sit in a very small box. I have a very large cat, and if he fits, he sits. Doesn't seem to mind that it's like half the size of him. I might stop cutting these out for a minute. I've been doing this recently where I make kind of a big batch and then I get halfway through the batch and I think, I'm bored of this step and I want to move forward. I find that it does save time to do like the cutting step for all of them before I move on to the next step, but sometimes my brain needs a change, so. Aw, yeah, I would show you the cat, but the tripod is very precariously balanced. I opted to do a phone view instead of a computer view, and I had to like, it's on like an arm. Also, I am doing the YouTuber corner where the corner is semi-neat, but the rest of the apartment is messy, so I'll spoil the fun of that if I turn the camera. You can kind of see that room back there is a little bit like a closet at the moment, so there's just kind of piles of craft supplies that didn't fit into this little section. I'm in a much smaller apartment than I was in the last time you saw me. I was in a house with a big craft room, and now I have a dining room that I was never gonna use for dining, so it became a little workspace. And by dining room, I mean like dining area of one big room. So it's kind of fun though, because I get to see my craft supplies all the time and I like them. They make me happy, so it's kind of nice to just have them here all the time. I don't have to go shut myself up in a room. I can be where people hang out. And by people, I mean me and my kid. Oh, I'll send you a picture, Autumn. Autumn gets a picture of my cat. Remind me if I forget. All right, well, we're coming up on an hour, which is kind of wonderful. Time flew today. So if there are any questions anybody wants me to answer before I head out, I would love to answer them. Also, if you're here for any of my projects that are not me talking to a camera or making plush animal doll situations, like if you originally followed me for music or journaling stuff, I'm pretty much always doing things. I work on lots of my projects and I kind of jump around to them, so if you're interested in any of that stuff, be sure to stick around because I will share it probably on Instagram more often than I share it here, but I am around and I'm still working on things, so yeah. So music-wise, I am in a situation right now where I have been doing music for a really long time under my name, Lauren Fairweather, and that's fine, but due to a certain author that shall not be named, I am feeling a little bit like I want to separate my new music from my older music, and a good way to do that is by changing the name. So thinking about starting a new band name musician project. Been thinking about it for a super long time. I may still release music under Lauren Fairweather if it feels like it fits with my older music. So songs about books and TV shows and nerd stuff, but you might hear a new band name for me at some point in the near future. And I'll let you know when that happens. Yeah, we love a rebrand. That's definitely one of my go-tos. Anytime I'm a little bit sad or bored or not interested, it's time for a rebrand. It's time to rebrand one of my projects. I did it with my plush business, which used to be called Fairweather Friends and is now called Fairwick's Forest. I've been working on branding for my YouTube channel. It's been like this for so long and I really like it, so I'm hesitant to change it because I worry that I might not like it as much, but we'll see. But yeah, things are going okay. We're doing the best we can, and part of why I've been creating so much is because I get a lot out of it. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel productive, but also like I don't know, like I can take my mind off of hard things when I'm sitting here and cutting out a million little triangles off of the edges of a plant sprite doll. Aw, thank you, Shannon. That's so nice to hear. I'm happy that people have found me through the years doing all sorts of different projects and still stuck around when I've shifted my focus to something else for a little while. but I'm always going to be the type of person who wants to make stuff and wants to write music and share it on the internet. It's been the best part of my life, really, because it's brought me to so many people that I love and brought me so many interesting places and taught me so many things about how to make stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to be a part of my life for a really long time, and the way I'm doing it and where I'm doing it might change, but I started this YouTube channel in February 2006. It's been a while, so, you know, but yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you all are still here, and yeah, make sure you stay in touch with me too. Like, find me on different social media platforms, or just follow me here if this is the only one that you're on. Let's see. Yeah. It's so nice reading all your thoughts. It may not be very exciting to people who are just watching and listening, just watching me read comments and smile and respond to all of you, but part of it's for me too. Part of it's that I want to be here and talk to all of you. It's a nice way to catch up with a bunch of people at the same time. Just hop onto live and see how everybody's doing, see who's online right now. So I might do this again pretty soon. I don't know. Getting into school starting, so maybe I'll have a little bit of time here and there that I can hop on. It'll be really nice to just kind of catch up with all of you and jump on with whatever project I'm currently working on. We've got a box of scraps here. Try to salvage the bigger pieces for little details and things like that. And next step on these will be turning them inside out. So I'm definitely going to post photos of these when they're finished on Fairwick's Forest on Instagram. That's spelled FAIRWXFOREST. And it's also written in the video description as well. So yeah. Ooh, yeah, it does work well for stuffing too. Though I'm very particular about how I stuff things, so this may be a different kind of stuffing. Maybe for a bigger one where I don't need quite so many little pieces filled up. But yeah, it's a good idea. I have a hard time throwing away fabric scraps, even little ones, so. Yay. Oh my goodness. Thank you all for coming. This has been really fun. Definitely feel free to reach out on Instagram or on here and let me know in the future what you'd like to see more of. Sometimes it's hard to know because I have so many different projects and so many different things that I like to do, and I worry if I try something that people don't love or aren't interested in, that no one's gonna like it. And so yeah, it definitely helps to have input from all of you if you're excited to see anything in particular. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. Mwah. I'll see you next time.